So none of us are
I'm
doing it.
shy. Yeah, nobody's doing it. There's no intro. The podcast is over. Go home, kids. Pack it up.
I'm so happy, happy-go-lucky me. I just go my way, living every day. I don't
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the show. Good evening, ghoulies, and welcome to what episode are we on? 4? 4.
4.
Holy shit.
4.
Okay, season 1, episode 4 of the Hobbesy Horror Screencast Bros, where I, Hobbesy, and my good buddy over there, RJ, will take a little romp and BS through the horror film du jour. Today's episode is going to be Jennifer's Body, but before we get into that, we're going to have a little open and chat, talk about some things that we're looking forward to or that have come up on our radar over the last week. And we can start with you there, RJ. You got anything? Actually, I'm so rude. I didn't ask. How are you, RJ?
We are doing good. We are doing good.
I'm so rude. Such a faux pas. What a piece of shit. I'm glad to hear it, though. I am doing A-okay. We are packing things in today because Arj has some business tomorrow and the weekend. Exciting. So we just finished watching the episode. We're going to go right into the film, and I'm going to promise you something. I'm not going to remember anything about it, regardless of just watching it like 15, 20 minutes ago. But anyway, looking forward to things, RJ. What are we looking forward to?
Well, something I brought up to you earlier. I was, just scrolling through the internets, and apparently Netflix is doing a BioShock movie that we've been promised since, what did you say,
Like, I
2013?
think like 2014-ish maybe is when the
Somewhere
film started
around
getting
there,
talked about.
but
Somewhere in, yeah.
now Netflix is doing BioShock, and I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Just please don't ruin it. That's all I ask. That's all I ask with anything. Please don't ruin
Don't
it.
fuck it up. Like, I will say their run with video game franchise to well, I guess it wasn't really film, it was animation. But they did all right with Castlevania. Uh but that was episodic. I don't know if they could really put out a film. Kind of fucked up Death Note, eh?
Yeah, they did.
And most other things they've touched.
I mean, Death Note almost made Dragon Ball Z look good.
No, that's a lie. Don't say
I
that.
said
Nothing.
almost. I said almost.
Oh, anime tangents aside, BioShock could be really good depending on what they do with it and what source material they use for it. Um, if maybe they go the Prime route and they spit out an original story in the BioShock universe, that could be neat. Uh, I think did they give any information for it? Did you know, or
No,
was it
not
just a
really. It was basically just kind of like just pretty much just an announcement saying coming to Netflix, and had like a bit sort of a movie poster, but that was about it. They didn't really have
hmm,
any details on it.
that's curious. I'd be interested in that. I'd be interested in seeing what they do with
Yeah. I mean, if I see a Big Daddy on screen, I might get a little excited over that. I'm not
it.
gonna lie.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, are they going to go like the underwater rapture approach? Are they going to
Yeah,
go
because
the in the air
there are
Columbia
some.
approach, or are they going to go with like a third destination?
Yeah, there are definitely some routes they can take.
And I wonder how on board the developers are, how involved they'll be.
Hmm.
Who did BioShock? Take Two?
Wasn't that was a behavior also, was it?
No, that was Behavior. I think it was Take Two. that is responsible for
That sounds
Bioshock.
right. That sounds right. Well, if somebody knows for sure, they can
Right? Can't
hit us
confirm it.
up.
Somebody correct us. That's right. Where can they hit us up, RJ?
On the Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it nowadays. Blinking, blinking.
On which part?
The Twitter handle.
Oh, at Hobbesy Horror.
There it is. They can comments on the YouTube. They can hit us up on the Gmail.
That's true. We have the Gmail, hobbsyhorror at gmail.com. Uh, on the YouTubes at Hobbsy Horror. I don't know how you find your way through YouTube. There's a link in the description. Don't worry. I mean, there is a comment section on Spotify now. Hey, by the way, if you listen on
Is
Spotify,
there?
just like poke that 5-star button up in the top and don't ask any questions, and nothing weird will appear in your bed. I promise. Uh, Anything else on your radar here? Bioshock movie could be
Not
pretty cool. Not with that.
not really. That was about the only thing that I literally saw as I was coming home from work today.
That's entirely fair. I got a couple things I brought up the other day. I noticed Nick Cage be doing up the horror here in 2024. He had Arcadian come out, which he plays a father of twin boys surviving in a post-apocalyptic setting. I don't know much on it, but I'm kind of intrigued. And then Longlegs, which I don't know anything about other than what the trailer and a slight description told me about an
Trailer
FBI.
looks good though.
Trailer looks
The
fucking
trailer
creepy.
looks good.
And it would seem Nick Cage is the baddie. So I mean, I'm kind of might be a little wet in the underoos for that one. But looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing where Nick Cage goes because he's been doing horror lately. He had what was Renfield late last year, mid last year, whatever. He had Willy's Wonderland, which I'm not gonna hold you on this one, Chief. It was better than FNAF, as much as I enjoyed the FNAF film. Willy's Wonderland is superior in every way.
I was gonna say I haven't heard of any of these movies.
Son of a fuck. Well, season 2, kids. Keep an eye out. We are watching Willy's Wonderland. I could watch that all day. But Longlegs, yeah, like I said, like, hey, we going to the movies on this day? Because it looks good. Past that, dropping Nick Cage, as much as I would never drop him, love him. Grady Hendrix, I mentioned, I think last episode, I mentioned
believe so,
Witchcraft
yeah.
for Wayward Girls. I was like, oh man, I'm pumped for this. I'm gonna look into it. And I'm like, I'll buy it. And then I realized, oh shit, it doesn't come out until January 14th of 2025. And then I found what the descriptor was that I had seen initially, and it was Rosemary's Baby set in Florida. And I was just like, I can fucks with that. But I did go ahead and I bought the Final Girl Support Group, which was next day delivery because Bezos Sama pulls through. And I feel real dirty calling him that. But I mean, he does give me Twitch payouts. So did buy the book. And I love it. It's amazing. I'm not so far into it yet, but the chapters are short. They are titled in such a way as slasher films going in order and sequels and whatnot, and it's really clever and funny. There's a fair amount of humor and there's a fair amount of serious, and the main character does a lot of beating in the head of not trusting men, understandably so. Survived a slasher. But it's a really interesting and nifty look at what happens to the final girls after they get on in life. Highly approve. Can't wait to read more. I read a bunch of it yesterday, and I got home today and decided to disassociate for a little bit, and then came back and read it up until time to get started. Maybe when I finish, I'll come back with a nice review for it. But until then, highly recommend. Can't wait to get through it and get another book. I'm kind of psyched. Other than that, though,
That sounds interesting.
yeah, this is a lot of fun. I'll throw it your way when I'm done with it. If you find time to sit down. and plow through any literature. It's hard to find time for these things these
It
days.
is.
Like, yeah. Beyond that, that's all on my radar right now. I'm not. Like I said, we just watched the film, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. We can go ahead and get into it whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, might
Rad,
as well
rad.
just dive right in.
Yes, straight in. Uh, Film today, Jennifer's Body, premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 10th and released theatrically on September 18th, both of 2009. It came out to a middling critical reception. The film cost $16 million to produce and brought in $31.6 million at the box office. So somewhere around double. Somewhere around double.
Yeah, just under doubling what it cost.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when it came out, because I'm not gonna lie, I remember watching trailers for this movie, and I can understand where the mixed reviews came from. Because this is my first time watching the movie. But yeah, it had mixed reviews, and when it originally came out, but then, as time, like I said, kind of having a theme here with all of our movies so far, as time went on, it began to, really garner a cult following behind the movie, and actually unofficial musical popped up around was 2018
2018.
that yeah, and it's just I kind of want to see the musical now and just see how they did the movie.
Yeah, me too. That might be one where if I can hunt it down, this might be a watch together thing. Even if no content comes from it, it might just be a watch together
Exactly.
thing. Um,
Exactly. It does sound very interesting.
if by that time we happen to have a little following or something, maybe we could do a watch along. We could all sit down and watch the musical. But yeah, I want to see it now. That's kind of a fun little surprise there. It was directed by Karen Kusama and written by Diablo Cody, with producers Daniel Dubecki, Mason Novick, and Jason Rettman. The film stars Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried, with supporting roles from Johnny Simmons, J.K. Simmons, Adam Brody, and Amy Sedaris. Uh,
And I will just say, just the name Diablo Cody, like, bravo,
Banging name.
bravo on the name. Like, that is a name.
Banging name, kind of a banging human, honestly. Uh, I guess slip in a little
But
fun fact about Diablo Cody there. Wrote her memoirs at 17. What was it called? uh,
what it was something of a stripper, wasn't
I
it?
think it was Candy. Oh hell, I'll get it right damn now. Candy Girl. A year in the life of an unlikely stripper.
That's what it was.
I don't know what Diablo Cody's life is like. I kind of want to read the memoirs just to find out what it was like, but kind of a badass human being, it seems. I don't know. I have fun with this human. They have a fun name.
And kind of going back to the cast here, Megan Fox, who plays the lead role, actually dropped 15 pounds for this role and avoided sunlight completely for 4 months to basically make her, appear like she is, thin and sickly, and actually has come out and said that this was her favorite movie that she's actually played in. So I thought that was kind of interesting little note. Um, but apparently, leading up to this movie releasing, the studio wanted Megan Fox to basically promote the movie on amateur adult websites. Um, yeah, so thankfully, the director, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on her name, Karen Kusama, pleaded with the studio to not tell Megan Fox about this, and basically just shut that down because, like, yeah, why not, degrade our star actress of a
Right?
movie that we want to promote through adult websites? Anyways.
Yeah, I Man, oh
It's
man.
just, oh my God.
If
It's
you need
just
to,
like, like, just be a human.
right, be a human.
Be a
Just
human.
be a fucking human. If you need an example of what's wrong with Hollywood, I mean that's pretty solid. Uh,
Exactly.
in regards to that, Kusama and Cody are both outspoken feminists, with Cody being quoted as saying, "We wanted to subvert the classic horror model of women being terrorized. I want to write roles that service women. I want to tell stories from a female perspective. I want to create good parts for actresses where they're not just accessories to men." And I think that comes through pretty loud and clear in this film. There is a lot of subtext in it about female empowerment and about breaking away from toxicity, empowering yourself, and taking charge of yourself. Uh, and it's a fun movie to watch and see that
Well,
evolve
I was gonna say just while definitely being totally high school at the same
while being
time.
totally high school. Okay, so last week when you picked it, I got super excited. I'm like, oh, you're gonna fucking love this. Da 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 da. It's so fucking great. I may have I may have oversold it on you. Not in my opinion, mind you, not in my opinion, because the movie fucking bangs. It is so much fun. It is, like I said previous, it is equal parts cringe and brilliance mashed together in like this almost like a teen movie that still makes it as a more serious horror feature as well, because the intense parts are truly intense, um, maybe even a
Oh,
little scary, good use of jump scares and just tension building.
there
um,
was, I was gonna say, there was a few comments I made between like, so this movie's either 100% taking itself seriously or 100% not taking itself seriously. There is no in between.
it
And actually, I think that's what made the movie better, better than what I thought it was gonna be.
Right, it takes these hard swings from intensity to levity to intensity to a levity. There's no in between. It's just a flip of a switch. And I mentioned it still doesn't feel like total whiplash. I feel like
Yeah,
there's enough breathing room within the scenes themselves that switch flip isn't super jarring, which is good because it goes back and forth an awful lot. But yes, it definitely doesn't take itself too seriously. We made a slight mistake also in saying that Killer Clowns would probably be the most fun, most funny. Maybe this wasn't the most fun, most funny, but it is definitely fun and funny on its
it's
own.
yeah, it was definitely going for a comedy horror, and it definitely achieved.
Yeah, yeah, and like
There were quite a few times where I'm just like, wow.
it never went like truly over the top either.
Hmm.
It stayed very grounded. It was still, these are high school kids in a teen film uh, that just happened to have a
We will get to some of my favorite lines in in a little bit.
gosh daggum, the friggin' dialogue in this film is a fucking gem. Um, Sometimes it hurts. We'll talk about some of those. Uh, but a lot of the time, like just the one-liners and the clapbacks are just, it's pretty peak. It's solid.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. It's a lot of fun. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about in regards to the opening here. There was a lot in the back production that maybe we'll come across as we're going through and talking about the film. Otherwise, highly recommend going and giving a little bit of a look yourself and definitely watching the film yourself. Um, are we ready to go to a trailer? Do you have anything else you'd like to add to
Uh,
that? I don't know if you
no, I think we're, yeah, good to move on
rad rad.
to the trailer because for the first time, it's for the first time in our series so far, it's a movie that one of us hasn't seen, but I have seen the trailer.
Right, and what's great is I don't remember the trailer at all, actually.
I definitely remember the trailer, and
So
I definitely remember the one line of well, we'll get to it
we'll get to it.
in the
Yeah.
trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't really remember the trailer. I don't know if I ever actually saw that. I think I would have had to have seen it at some point. but I've
Yeah,
got no
I'm
recollection
sure
of it in
one.
my mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm sure once it gets going, you will be like, oh yeah, okay, I've seen this because again, it's the one line in the trailer that I remember because once they said it in the movie, I'm like, that's how I know the trailer.
It might jar it into me. All right, let's see here. I don't know. I slightly adjusted the audio, so I hope it's solid. I love the lake scene. Actually, I love this scene as well. Wow, they came out with two of the strongest scenes.
You and me are going out tonight. Wear something cute, okay?
You always do what Jennifer tells you to do.
It's just that I like the same things that she likes.
Hey, Jennifer, you look really pretty.
Why don't you just come by my place? Well, this is random.
This isn't really your house, is it?
We can play mommy and daddy.
No way.
We always share your bed when we have slumber parties. Jennifer's evil.
I know.
No, I mean, she's actually evil. Not high school evil.
Oh, that part actually makes me cringe a little bit. Ah,
Chip is looking really cute to me lately. How is
the
he
whole
tasting
tongue lighter
these
thing.
days?
Not high school
You're never a
evil.
good friend.
Yeah, right.
Anybody that you want, my Chip. You're killing people. No, I'm killing boys. Are you scared? Thought you only murdered boys. I go both ways.
They put some of the best lines
I will finish you
in the
if I
trailer
have to.
too.
Okay. You can barely finish gym class.
Yeah, that line right there is what instantly reminded me of the trailer. I go both
I
ways.
go both ways. That was a really good trailer. Even that had some of the levity to it, but they kept it really intense there in the beginning, like a good build. Just like the movie. Yeah, no, that was a good trailer. I enjoyed that. They showed like the tongue lighter part makes me cringe every time.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. While we were watching that, I just like I had to look away for a second. I'm like, that does not feel good.
No, it really puckers the tuchus on that one, you know? Like ah. There are a couple parts in this where I get a little just like, I don't like this. Uh, I'm for liking horror and gore. I'm kind of a squeamish lad. Oh man, whenever we get to the Evil Dead Rise, I'm not looking forward to that either. That's got some roughness,
Ooh, I can't wait. I can't
uh,
wait to visit that one again.
but yeah, but no, good trailer. It doesn't give. Well, no, it doesn't give. Oh, I'm not going to say
Not
gives too much
really.
away. Like it gives you a good setting of what you're
I
dealing with.
mean, again, we get a nice balance between like the older trailers that, were out before we were around
Right.
and more of a newer trailer that doesn't it kind of tells you the story of the movie, but it doesn't really give a lot away. The older trailers, like they're basically just giving you a
Right.
speed run of the movie, like giving you everything of the
Here's
movie in
everything you
like a
need.
like a 60 to 75-second trailer.
Absolutely. Got any comments on that? That's not
Well,
your
like I
first.
said,
That's not your first time. So
no, that I have definitely seen that trailer because I remember when the movie was coming out. Like I said, you know, when the movie came out, it had mixed reviews. I'm not gonna lie, I saw the trailer when, because this 2009, I was literally just out of high school, and I don't know about that. Just because I thought it was gonna be like just some kind of like stupid, cheesy horror movie, and I think my taste in horror movies were a little different back then than what it is now because now I'm like, "Ooh, cheesy horror movie? Let's
right.
go."
You
Back then it was a little more like this looks stupid.
you weren't
So,
nearly as
and that
refined.
was yeah, I was gonna say that was probably the biggest reason why I never watched it was just because I was like, this looks stupid.
Yeah, it had a good vibe. I appreciated it. It kind of in the way that like Cabin in the Woods has a real leans into its levity. I feel like Jennifer's Body did a great job of leaning into its levity. And like I said, Diablo Cody wrote a hell of a script here. The dialogue it is equal parts just horrible and
She,
ridiculously
yeah,
great. Uh,
definitely captured high school in the dialogue.
really tapped into that. uh, I'll talk about it later, but I don't like the use of the term salty
Yeah,
when it
it
comes
believe
up.
me, it's in the notes
That
because
is
yeah, it's like, yeah, that's not what salty means.
incorrect, right?
Let's be real here.
Oh man. All right. So anyway, we start with the film on Anita Needy Lesnicki, played by Amanda Seyfried, who is currently housed in. Ooh, I dropped that in a mental health facility.
Yeah, it's definitely like the opening of the movie. I'm not gonna lie, I did not, because again, it's my first time seeing the film. I was not expecting the movie to open like that. And it was just it was kind of kind of refreshing how they kind of, I don't know the term, Tarantino it,
Started at
kind of
the
show you
end.
the ending and then go to the beginning and show you how you got there. Like, I thought that was kind of I do kind of like that, I guess, for lack of a better word, formula,
Right,
because I
right.
do love Quentin Tarantino so much. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool how they opened the movie like that.
All right. To quote Dane Cook, wherever the hell he is and whatever the hell he's doing in 2024, let's
I know
Tarantino this
exactly.
shit. Let's go back. Let's go back. Uh,
I was gonna say I know exactly what joke you were about ready to say.
right. But yeah. It's a good start. It does break the expectation of going into like a teen film, I guess. Starting at the end and starting with dramatics. But we're introduced to Needy, who is a highly unstable, terrifying badass with more strength in her legs than one necessarily should have.
Yeah, because it's in her file. She's a kicker.
A kicker, all caps. Uh,
Oh yeah, and even Kicker,
yeah, right. K I
kicker.
C
It's
K
in my
E R.
file. I believe was the exact line.
Yeah,
As she
so
just kicks
good.
the shit out of an orderly and breaks her nose and knocks out a tooth.
Like across the room over a table, like full on Spartan kick. Man, I have a lot of notes that are just pointless ass notes here. But it starts with the line, "Hell is a teenage girl," uh, and I feel like that is the perfect opener to this film. With her sitting on the floor, in her suit. But yeah, she has a huge ego. She knows she's a badass. It's clearly earned the way she kicks the orderly across the room, and she does all of this in her little bunny slips. We love those little bunny slippies. Um, from there, she's explaining her hometown, Devil's Kettle. I think Devil's Kettle would be a rad name. We get a scene of a little sign for Devil's Kettle and an explanation for what is it, the sign? Uh, or no, the spring. Excuse me.
Yeah, it was like a waterfall that went into like almost like a whirlpool, I guess it would be the right term for it.
Right,
And
right.
nobody knows where it shoots out at.
Right, that was it. It wasn't a spring. um, but yes. And proceeding from that little description of Devil's Kettle, we begin to get a little kind of montage of pictures as Needy talks about her friends and how normal they were. Uh, with some very "I'm 15 and so deep" dialogue, and it's kind of perfect. At this point, we get our introduction to Jennifer, or our first sight of Jennifer, pretty much captain of the cheer squad, flag spinner. And we kind of get a glimpse of Needy's love for her, affection for her.
I was gonna say probably deep down, like falling in love with. She's definitely in love with her, but won't admit she's in love with her because she's not. I mean, because even the girl sitting behind her in the scene even says something
You're
or
so
other that
lesbian
she was
gay.
like, Yeah, that was the word.
Let's be gay is
Again,
in my notes.
high high school dialogue.
A very high school dialogue. There's a lot we can't say that they say in this film because 2009 was a different time, and you could get away with using the R word without Twitter canceling the ever loving shit
Yes.
out of you. Um,
Yes, very much.
Awareness and language has evolved. But there is one that I will be using in here because I don't think it counts. We'll get to it. It's going to count. I'm not going to use it. But yes, we get this scene where, well, let's be gay. Needy is just gazing intently in love. Following up, we get Jennifer approaching Needy in the halls and tells her that they're going to go out for the evening to catch a band that Jennifer's really into. There's a mention of MySpace in here that made me feel like a fucking dinosaur. And this is the first time we get the use of the term salty in a good way.
Yeah, salty is not a good description.
Yeah,
It is definitely like basically being, everybody knows what salty means. It is not a good description
right.
of
It's not a
somebody.
good thing. You don't say salty to mean, oh, you're so cool. No, no. Salty means you are you are bitter and butthurt. Keep the language where it
Exactly.
belongs. I mean, granted, it was 2009. I don't know. I don't remember slang in 2009, but I'm like,
I remember the meme of all the flavors in the world you chose to be salty,
right,
and it was
right.
not in good
And it
it
was
was
not
not in good
good.
context.
No, it was not good. I don't know when that came into being, but it was not good. Um, but it continues on, and Needy's kind of going over the way she has to look for Jennifer. Uh, and you can see here that I mean, you could see previously, but you can continue to see that Jennifer is a toxic influence on poor Needy, who would pretty much do anything for her at this point. Meanwhile, Chip, Needy's boyfriend, poor Chip, poor sweet Chip, also who I called Neil several times in my head and out loud to the movie because I'm pretty sure Johnny Simmons that's just Johnny Simmons. That's just him. He is Neil. He is
He
Chip.
will forever
He
be
is who we
he will
see.
forever be Neil from Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Right? He's got dopey hair and a cute little chubby face with his big teeths. It's Neil. I think he should dump her here and now, mainly because she asked who's Phil Collins. And I'm sorry, Chip, but it was 2009. There's still no excuse. Good stuff, though. We get the use of BFFs as
Uh,
instead of BFFs, we're BFFs.
yeah, that was definitely a little cringe moment in dialogue.
A wee bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit,
A little bit. And it's at this point, Jennifer shows up, and it's almost as though she has a sixth sense for things. Just ruins it all. The dialogue is ridiculous in this movie.
Yeah, definitely. But then, well, I guess the part where they go up to meet the band and they're talking to the lead singer, which I cannot think of his name. I think it was like
Nikolai.
Nicola something. Yeah, Nikolai. And this is where Jennifer offers to buy him a drink. And oh yeah, they got these 9/11 tribute shots. They're all red, white, and blue.
Sorry,
And you got,
that caught me.
and I'm just like, um, well, the movie did come out 8 years later, so I guess it was okay.
Right?
I'm pretty
It
sure.
wasn't so soon, I guess. Was it
But
at
I
that part
mean,
I cackled too in the film? I don't know.
probably,
God, that's
but
just
it
wrong.
also kind of gets the point across of Jennifer's personality and how she's, like the cool girl in school, the popular one in school, and, has just kind of says anything and everything
A
kind
general
of
lack of like
mentality,
self-awareness,
awareness,
right?
yes. And yeah, that was, like I said, that one definitely went down in the notes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There are a few good lines and exchanges in that section. We got that example
And
of the times with the R word math with in descriptor of the jock as they pass entering the bar.
yeah,
And we get babyface Chris Pratt, who
I was
yeah,
the
I
cop in training,
yeah, as the cop in training, commenting on the lead singer of the band and his eyeliner, using a term that I'm alright using, fagos, which I guess is a clever pass for using a slur,
which in turn he gets called a gomer.
which he gets called a gomer, which I think is worse, honestly. As a person who's been called the F slur plenty, I don't want to be called a gomer. You can call me that all day, but don't call me a gomer. Where else? Okay, so we get the 9/11 tribute shooter, which is ridiculous. We get some anal commentary when it comes to Chris Pratt's character getting her backdoor virginity. After Needy tells off the band when they hear them talking about Jennifer in terms of being a virgin. Band's an absolute bunch of dick boxes.
And then, well, when the song plays, the only way I could describe the song is, the jock who, is all cool, and then, the head cheerleader breaks his heart, and then all of a sudden the jock turns quote unquote emo. That's the basically the description of the song they sing that you hear several times throughout the movie.
At first, I was like, I think I said no. I didn't make a note about liking the song initially. Like initially, it starts with me like, "Oh, this is a groove," and then it gets old real fast,
Yes,
and
it
then
does.
it gets driven in quite a bit.
Yes, it does. Please don't.
It's tragic.
It is.
As goes on, they're playing this stupid song. I hate them to death, and you can see You can see a moment where Needy's heart kind of breaks a little bit.
Because Jennifer is literally like, basically Jennifer is staring at the lead singer like Needy stares at Jennifer.
Yeah, like she's fucking hypnotized, and her hand just drops. You kind of get the feeling Needy's heart broke a little bit there. And then, oops, all fire. I have written in my notes.
Oh my god, this scene.
Suddenly,
Lit-
fire
the
begins.
whole bar just catches on fire, and nobody is trying
Nobody
to get out.
moves initially.
There's even a scene of a couple hiding under a table to get away from the fire because the fire won't get you under a table.
Right? You duck and cover for the earthquakes and nukes. Duck and cover. Not working
Fires,
here.
you get the hell out.
Yeah, this shit went down, or rather went up fast. And you see a meat disappear behind some rubble. More to come with him later. As Needy grabs Jennifer and drags her through the bar, they escape through a window and end up in the parking lot. Where douchebag band lead Nikolai Wolf shows up and begins putting on his best grapey, we'll call it grapey, lead singer of a band persona. Starts popping a drink on Jennifer and begins coaxing them to the van.
As there's people running out of the building on fire.
As people are fleeing on fire, yes.
He's trying to get her to, oh my God, this is so tragic. We should go to some place I'm familiar with. My van.
Like, yep, you're not a good guy. Red flags are everywhere. Jennifer is in a trance of some sort. Pretty awesome, though. In that scene, he closes the door. It cuts back to Needy just as the building explodes behind her. Really strong, powerful scenes. Fun fact, there's no glass in her lenses in these scenes. And I don't know if that holds to the rest of the film, but in this scene particularly...
Some scenes it looks like there's no lenses in her glasses. Other scenes there are clearly lenses in her glasses.
Right. In this scene, there definitely are not lenses because you get no reflection from the flames. But you get that smug fucking look from Nikolai as he loads up in the van and they pull off. There are people just kind of stumbling away from it, but nobody seems super concerned. From the point it happens, I mean, everybody freaks out when they start catching on fire. But the before and after, there's just like maybe less response than one might expect. The scenes move forward. Needy gets home, immediately called. I almost called him Neil, son of a bitch. Uh,
Chip.
immediately calls Chip, waking him up. I have a note here. Chip lives dangerously because he's just got his fucking cell phone, not on the charger, just up under his fucking sheets and shit. Like, homeboy doesn't give any fucks.
Yeah, man, they were the flip phones. They lived through it. They were like cockroaches. They lived through
I
everything.
guess that's true. Battery life was a bit more
Bit more stable back
bit more
then.
stable. Yeah. I really do question, like in the previous scene, if like the devil is just like a roadie for the band during this time because the fire is super convenient and weird. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm
is the devil
very
a
convinced
roadie
that
just waiting to be sacrificed to? What's going on here? Like,
I'm very convinced that the band set the fire on
just
purpose.
did it on purpose. I
Yeah.
mean, it shows it's an electrical fire. It shows a catch, but yeah, wild shit.
Uh-huh. But
But
then one of my other favorite lines comes from this because Needy is telling Chip what, that Jennifer went into their van and still has not come back
oh
and has
yeah,
not heard from her whatsoever. And he's like, "Well, do you know what kind of van it is? I don't know, an 84
an
rapist?"
84 rapist is a strong statement, a great line.
It was like the
Look,
one all the one-liners. That one was pretty good.
look, man, don't blame us. Blame fucking Diablo Cody. She wrote it. And as we go on with the conversation, she hears something downstairs. She goes downstairs, she checks front door. Nobody's out there. This is where it starts getting intense for kind of the first time, like a
Yeah,
legit
I
sense
would
of horror.
say.
You see the shadow move in the back, and it begins building the tension as we get to the reveal of Jennifer, who is looking worse for the wear, blood streaming from the mouth, all over the body, clothes wrecked, looking dead. Eats a whole rotisserie out of the fridge, and I find it really weird. I don't know, maybe it's just Needy is in shock at this point, but she takes it kind of well as she's calmly explaining to her,
Definitely takes it like a champ. Yeah.
like, I don't think you should eat that chicken. My mom will be upset or something. Like,
Yeah, or yeah, it was something like, "Oh, my mom bought that rotisserie chicken," or something like
my
that. It
mom
was
bought that
something on
rotisserie
that.
chicken from
Yeah.
Boston Market, and I don't that
That's
um
that's what it was.
like, and she's doing this very calmly, tears running down her face. Jennifer, after trying to devour the chicken, suddenly vomits black bile that goes all spiky and weird. That I think gets referred. I forget what Needy refers to it later on. I actually didn't take that in my notes.
It was something with needles
Something
or
with
something like
needles.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do make a comment for this because it goes from let's see. Chip lives dangerously. Oh, I wanted to mention I love his band posters. Motion City soundtrack on the wall. Greatly appreciated. We love Motion City in this household.
We
Um,
do.
and I make a comment about how it brings things from humor to tension and back again, and it's timed well enough to give it, space to breathe and whatnot. Um, but yes, we get this weird erotic moment between Jennifer and Needy where she begins to bite her neck. And I'm kind of convinced that like she would have eaten her, but something stopped her. Like she was really hungry. She was gonna do it, but I guess she just decided not to. And I don't know if it's the link they have, but
Probably.
probably. We go forward. They're digging through the rubble. Needy has a mess to clean up. I don't think it shows her cleaning the mess. Yeah, it does. It showed her cleaning. And it goes on to Needy spacing out in class as the high school gossip is going on around her. And she's thinking back to the time when she and Jennifer were small. And I believe Jennifer nicked her hand on something, cut her hand on something.
It was like a tack was in her hand, like one of those tacks you put into a wall.
Right.
That was in her hand. They pulled it out, and her hand started bleeding.
And this is where Needy goes ahead and licks it up. Weird flex, but all right. I think we all did it as kids. You ever drink blood, Ron?
My own, not someone else's.
All right,
Like,
fair enough.
if I had like a little cut in my hand or something, instead of getting like a paper towel or like a band-aid like a normal person should, I just, kind of, yeah.
No weird vampire cannibalism going on though.
Yeah, that's all.
No, right. We have Needy being fully traumatized. We get people died, which has resurfaced as a meme, and I don't know where exactly it came from, but I'm gonna mark it as Jennifer's body just because. And they have a conversation in class where Jennifer shows herself to be even more of a bitch, and even more unfeeling than she maybe previously was before she was throwing up black bile. Um, I made a mistake. Actually, after that is when we get to Needy on the floor, sobbing, trying to clean this off of her kitchen floor.
Because because she saw Jennifer like basically just how she normally is, and not not how
Not
she
looking
was
dead.
literally the night before, and she's like, that did happen, right? Yeah, I remember. I was up early this morning cleaning up the mess, and
Right?
it's literally her scrubbing the black vial on off the floor.
It shows her nails, and all she has to say is, "Ew, you need a manicure." Uh,
No, it wasn't just a manicure. It was you need to see a Chinese lady, I believe was the
oh,
line, and again, not me saying it. It was in the movie.
it's Diablo Cody saying it.
Again, just
Not.
shows how Jennifer's personality is.
Yeah, she's a big old capital C. Um, we move into a speech from the teacher played by J.K. Simmons. I completely forget the teacher's name, however.
Oh, it was some weird name.
Talking about the horror that occurred, and the life lost. Uh, referring to people as hoes at one point.
It was yeah, it was something like remembering like because I guess there was 8 students that died in the fire, and remembering all of them, not just the cool ones
Not
or
just
the
the cool ones or
hoes.
the hoes.
And
Yes.
I'm just like, great motivational speech there, Teach.
What a line, truly. Mans is a fucking inspiration, a poet. I'll stop blowing him now. It's a very sad event. Talks about the Spanish teacher who died, and oh, pardon me. Do you remember what comes next? I'm sorry.
Went to the jock in the football field. And that's where Megan, or not Megan, Jennifer goes up to him, and it's kind of like almost kind of consoling him because he lost his best friend in the fire, and then
Oh yes, yes,
uh
yes.
basically coaxes him into the woods, and tries to say that, oh, his best friend, Craig, I believe his name was, said, oh, we would have been great together, and starts like like they're about ready to have sex in the
They've been
woods.
doing the little, who has, uh, and all the animals show up, which is a fun thing that seems to happen. Before that, we get introduced to Colin. However, I'd like to point that out because Colin is a sweet little puppy boy. But yes, they go into this. All the animals begin showing up. Jennifer starts stripping down. Starts giving a what's his name? Is it Jonas?
I do not,
Jonas. Uh, a
yeah.
little bit of a helping hand, we'll say. Um, and reveals to him that he will be seeing his friend very soon. And this is when we get the first real reveal of Jennifer as a monster per se. As she does she open wide here? I know she knocks him back against the tree, and I believe this is the
Yeah, she
first.
basically pushes him back against the tree, and then that's when you kind of see her basically her face
Her
kind
face
of.
transform, big sharp
Yeah,
teeth,
and
all that
it's
good stuff.
yeah. It doesn't really show too much of the death, but you can kind of, use your imagination.
Right, right. J.K. Simmons, the teacher, overhears it happening, thinks he's just
Goes to
grieving
investigate.
heavily, and ends up going to investigate. Yes. Um,
It basically sees like his basically, well, it's just like his midsection is just, chewed all the hell.
but yes, he walks up on the scene, and we have the deer eating Jonas. Jonas's insides, which is a kind of a fun, powerful scene all itself. There are carnivorous deer. Fun fact. Um, uh, then yes, we get introduced to Needy's mom, who's an interesting figure who's not in the film all that much, really. So, uh, but kind of gives us the scene kind of just gives us the insight into Needy's home life and what she deals with and works with in her day to day. And also here's her mother's dream about people trying to kill Needy, which is a little concerning.
Well, the whole, oh, since you're sleeping, since it's like 4 p.m. or something like that, it's no longer a night terror, it's a day
A
terror.
day terror, right? More good dialogue, more good lines. Next scene, it follows up. We are getting Jonas removed from the woods on a stretcher. I believe it's his mother who has a complete and total breakdown. Kind of a filler scene, not necessarily important, but the first body's found. This brings us to possibly one of my favorite shots in this movie, and it's the overhead of the lake as Jennifer comes up, and that pulled back shot from the lake as Jennifer comes up from the water and begins swimming. This is a pretty excellent scene, but just that establishing shot of the lake is kind of rad and awesome to me, and gives a pretty cool sense of scope and size. I don't think I had anything else there, except seeing the steam rise off of Jennifer in this particular scene. I don't know if it's just a cool day, the water's real cold, or if her body's real hot from being kind of a demon bitch. But it's a good effect. But this replenishes her. She looks better. She feels better. She still acts like a complete and total C word to Needy unnecessarily. And we get the first instance, the instance of lighter cringe to the tongue, burning the tongue, which makes my butthole pucker. I really hate it. Needy needs to go meet up with Chip. Chip has called her. They are at his neighbor's house. Was this Jonas's house? Yeah, this was Jonas's house. The cops had arrived too. For the death of Jonas. And the follow-up scene to that, really, this is just, I think at this point, it just kind of becomes a montage a little bit. Because it moves through a lot of filler information and just lead up and build up. But this, both the scenes, the lake scene and this hallway scene that it comes into with Jennifer walking down the hallway, the main focus. And there's this excellent contrast where everybody else is just kind of in neutral tones and whatnot. And she pops in the pink jacket. Both that and the lake they show in the trailer there, and I think those are probably two of my favorite scenes as far as how they were shot. Keeps going. They're having a candlelight vigil at the burned out place. Everybody's singing through the trees. There are memorials set up. It's yada yada. Surprisingly, this movie moved along a lot faster than it feels trying to describe the scenes and everything, because it really gives a lot of drag. I appreciate there is a scene in the middle here of this montage where it's focusing in on little memorials, and the flowers start to die and wither as time passes. We get a month jump where Jennifer's starting to get a little more pale, weakened, not looking so great, has some acne popping up. And I think it's at this part you can really tell where the weight was off of her. I think she was at 95 pounds or something, like 97 pounds at her lowest. So I mean, committed to the bit, I guess. You can definitely see it on her face in these scenes, even if some of it is makeup or whatever. It's still, she looks sick. Furthermore, beyond that, they're talking about Through the Trees being their unofficial anthem, celebrating unity and healing, moving through the morning. And it's announced that they have the band has decided to donate, what is it, 3% of every sale of the song or play of the song or whatever to the town. And Needy doesn't feel like that's a very good deal. Calls it out and realizes she is alone in this, as a little Asian fangirl proceeds to, she calls it a rumor, and little Asian fangirl proceeds to say it's true, it's on the wiki, or it's on Wikipedia. And that just feels
Everybody in high school knows if it's on Wikipedia, it's
Right.
110% true.
That is a very high school thought thing that we had back then, and I don't know if it carries over to now. Hopefully, the youth are smarter than we were. But they continue on. She asks if Jennifer's okay. Jennifer's acting like an asshole. Her skin's breaking out. Her hair's dull. Yada yada. She looks the part. Um,
But this is where they run into Colin
Colin,
and
yes.
basically like Jennifer just comes out and just says, "Dude, if you're gonna ask me out, give me your best line." And that's where he proceeds to ask her out, and she turns him down.
Oh,
But
sorry,
then
didn't
that's
mean to.
when Needy, you know, tries to tell her like how good of a guy he is and all that. And she's like, "Oh, you really like him?" And then that's when she goes up to him. "All right, take me out tonight."
Right. And Colin, I feel bad. I feel so bad. I'm still trying to think of what movies the actor, what other movie the actor was in. I said The Faculty came to mind, but I'm not sure if that's correct or not. But I recall him from other things, and I feel like he plays similar roles. But yes, I can't help but feel like all the red flags in this situation make pursuing it worth it.
Again, horny high school kid.
I mean, I guess yeah, I guess I get that. I don't know. But he jumps through some hoops and windows and you know,
Literally.
I mean, literally minor breaking and entering. Um, you had the captions on as it was going into this. You saw the lyrics, but you couldn't tell the song until we got to the room. Um, Good song. Love the whole scene and setup. All the candles, and I like the flashback back and forth to just like these really awkward scenes keep flashing back to, like Needy looking under the sheet while
But it
Chip is
kind of
trying to put on
shows
the condom. And
but it also kind of shows like the link between, how they always say like best friends have like a link where they kind of know what each other's thinking and all that kind of stuff. But kind
oh
of see the link between Needy
yeah,
and Jennifer, because that's when she starts getting the visions of like Jennifer and like her like demonic, kind of looking not, I don't want to say phase, but how she looks like when she's like when that kind of like demonic persona comes out, and then she sees Jonas's corpse and like blood coming from the ceiling as basically she's killing Colin.
it's fucking horrifying. Um, she uses the term "such a wetty." You're
Yeah,
giving it gives me
you
such
make
a
me such a
wetty, and
yeah.
I'm
There
just
it
like,
is.
that's what I don't know what that is. I mean, I know what that is, but why are you saying it like that? Um, Stop it.
High
Uh,
school, man.
I don't, um, it's a lot to take on. I don't feel good about Colin's death. I will say, like I said, I love Colin. He's such a sweet little emo puppy. But I do love the rats running out, and there were a couple good lines in this. I don't know if you took any of those down.
I did not.
But I did not either. Exactly. Um, but yeah, it's cutting back, and poor Needy is seeing the ghost of the jock Jonah, uh, seeing the blood fall from the ceiling, and then she gets the words "hopeless" passes her lips as Jennifer says she needs Colin hopeless. Uh, the movie starts really ramping up in its intensity and in the horror. Needy leaves, gets up, and is driving home, and that is where we get Jennifer wandering out of the woods into the road, and Needy doesn't hit her, almost hits her, I guess. And this is where also she lands on the windshield at this point, right? Smashing the windshield. I
Yeah,
wonder how Needy's mom felt about that. I wonder when she discovered that. Because there's still like the whole prom. That's never addressed again. Um, uh, we progress through a few scenes. Uh, Needy has had a breakdown on the couch. She falls asleep. Does she sleep till day or morning or
No, this is where she goes back to her house. She's in her bed, and then that's when Jennifer's in her bed as well, talking about, oh, we always sleep in the same bed when we do sleepovers.
okay? I didn't know how long she had like kind of conked on her couch because she kind of nods off on the couch. But yes, we get the full reveal with Jennifer in Needy's bed. They have a weird little makeout session where it's like the scene is like almost completely silent, and it's a weird intensity and doesn't feel right at all. It gave me kind of an uncomfortable vibe. Uh, but really good. We get pretty much the full reveal. Jennifer tells the story of what happened to her with the band, where they took her, how they sacrificed her. Uh, she's very everybody's kind of taking this all pretty well. Um, we get a few things through that. Found out that I actually own the knife that they used. That's fun. Um, we get the reveal of Jennifer carving into her arm. That is another thing that made me squeamish. I did not like that. But we get some X-Men shit. The line, some X-Men shit from that. Um, we get a some more R words. Uh, we get a rendition of 8675309 during the sacrifice, and I know you had negative feelings towards that.
Yeah, it's just, if you're gonna be, gonna be stabbed multiple times, like, can you at least do it to a good song?
I thought it was fun. Let's see. She goes through all that. We talk about that. We get that whole acapella singing sequence. Um, and then Needy starts doing the work after she tells Jennifer, "No, you can't sleep in my bed. You can't stay here." Jennifer says, "Fuck this, fine." I leave, hops out the window, and is gone. The next day, uh, there's commentary from Needy about how nobody seems to really be feeling it anymore. It's just like, here's another death. Nobody's really in it anymore. They're just kind of becoming numb to it. This when she starts putting in the work, researching the school's occult section in the library that she says
Because,
is a small one, but the fact it exists anyway is kind of interesting.
every high school has a sat satanic part of the library, because whose high school didn't have that?
Absolutely. Where do you think I was exposed to the devil? She finds throughout all of her searching that uh, Jennifer seems to be a succubus after her not failed sacrifice. It just turns out she isn't actually a virgin, and that may have thrown a wrench into the sacrificial process. But this is what
It's
brought her back.
the band was trying to sacrifice a virgin for fortune and fame, and kind of backfired because she, like you said, she's not a virgin,
she
and ended up turning her into a succubus.
Which is an interesting thing. The band, even though they sacrificed her and she became a succubus, the band still got fame, I guess. Like, nothing really seemed to go wrong for them until, later on. But they got their fame, but I guess it's more of a monkey's paw thing in this situation. Um, it's about this time towards the end when we're getting towards the dance sequence and everything. We actually start getting like soundtrack music. Because before this, we had like little like scene change type interludes or whatever that was just a small clip of an instrumental. Um, Here's where we actually get musical acts and artists, uh, and it is a good soundtrack. Like holy shit! Each song they come in relatively quick succession, but all bangers. Um, we get a whole scene of Needy talking to Chip, trying to convince Chip that we get. I have the note for lasagna teeth here, and I forget where it came in.
Oh, so basically, Needy was trying to convince Chip not to go to the dance, even though he bought tickets and a $12 corsage, um, for her, and then then as they're getting ready for the dance, because Needy wants to go to keep an eye on Jennifer, and obviously Chip wants to go because it's the dance. And that's when his mom gives
Yeah.
him pepper spray and basically tells him, well, there's a lot of crazies out there. Look what happened to that. You remember what happened, or you remember Colin or something like that? And
Right.
he's like, yeah, what was the
Lasagna
line?
with teeth.
Lasagna with teeth. It was how he described Colin.
Oh, I can't help but see him as Neil, even in his underwear. I love that the pepper spray that he got him is a comment, ladies pepper spray. And it's called Pink Panic. I kind of just want that can. I'd like that prop if I could. Just as like, something to sit on the desk. But yes, he takes it. We get to the dance scene. We get the announcement that what is it, low shoulder is
Yeah,
playing the
low
dance.
shoulder.
And we also get Jennifer showing up to intercept Chip on his way in, and she's kind of had an eye on Chip for a minute now, and hinted thoroughly at it towards Needy. So she's making her move, begins gaslighting Chip into believing that Needy cheated on him with Colin. They end up having a little makey out, and Chip he comes through as a good guy. He feels bad about it. He doesn't really want to do it. He gets out of it for the most part, but Jennifer takes him to an abandoned pool house. And of course, she's a succubus, dragged him along. There's some cut back and forth between this and not Jennifer, excuse me, Needy in the dance, as she begins to get that sense of, oh no, that connection with Jennifer, realizing that she has Chip. She takes off bolting. Meanwhile, we get they enter the inside of this pool house, and we get a repetition of the word hopeless spray painted on the inside of the pool wall. I thought that was interesting. I'm wondering if that's a theme somewhere in there. It definitely makes sense for the
Well,
scene.
I mean, it's basically like when Needy was whispering it the whole time when Colin was,
Mm-hmm.
being feasted upon and all of that. So,
Yeah, there's definite repetition to it. Jennifer once more tries to get Chip to, give in to her and all that. And I'm kind of interested. I'm wondering if she would have eaten him if he would have gone along with it. Because she
I
kind
mean,
of seems
but
offended when he pulls away and says, "Hey, I can't do this." She kind of seems offended. So I'm
I
wondering if
mean,
there's part of her who really wants him
well,
as a means to get at Needy, and the denial is what
but
triggers him getting attacked.
does a succubus need to be like desired as they're feeding on them in order to get their powers?
I suppose that might be true. I don't know. That's interesting. It's an interesting look at it. I wonder.
But when Needy does arrive, she kind of is chewing on his neck.
Yeah, yeah. You get a really good line out of that too. Um, when Needy finally just snaps and starts going off on Jennifer, because at this point, she sees her down in the water, and she, without hesitation, throws herself down in the water. They are tossed, turning, throwing around, and as Jennifer approaches, while Needy stands guard over Chip, who's still bleeding from the neck, he gives her the pepper spray to then spray Jennifer in the face, which does nothing but make her angry.
Pretty much.
As she begins levitating out of the water, and we get some humorous lines about she's hovering. It's not that impressive.
Oh, she can fly? No, she's hovering.
No,
It's not
she's
really
not.
that impressive.
Right? But yes, Jennifer gets real mad, makes the threats, says she's gonna, eat eat Needy's soul and shit it out. And as she's making her march towards Needy, we get the final last ditch heroic effort from dear sweet Chip, plunging a pool cleaner, pool net. I don't know what they're called. I don't know the pool.
Well, well, before that, Jennifer is talking about how she's gonna eat needy, and I thought you only did boys. I go both
Oh, I
ways,
go
and
both
that's where
ways.
that comes from in the trailer.
Also, yeah, that's the trailer line. Um,
But yeah, then Chip stabs her with some kind of like a, I don't know if it's like the little net to clean the pool or whatever. And then that's where you get the one of my favorite lines. Do you have a tampon? It just looks like you're plugged right now.
the writing's fucking brilliant. I don't care what anybody says. The clapbacks and one-liners are fucking keen as hell in this movie. Even before that, just Needy going off on Jennifer and Jennifer clapping back, and now I'm meeting your boyfriend. At least I'm consistent. Really leaning into being a horrible, evil person. But yes, Chip's amazing. He makes a last ditch effort. Jennifer walks off essentially. No running.
She
She's
basically like, yeah, just like goes out the window while Needy is obviously devastated. Her boyfriend's dead,
well
essentially.
dying. Um, because he still has time to make a really sweet, you know, a really sweet comment about how he's sure he was dead before she showed up, but hearing her voice brought him back to life or whatever. Like, damn you, Chip. Damn you, you sweet little doggo boy. I want to protect him. I think it jumps, yeah, because he
Well, yeah,
passes.
it jumps to Jennifer in her own bed, basically going through her yearbook, and then Needy jumps through the window and um is attacking her and has a box knife, which this might be the best line of the whole movie. You know what this is for? It's for cutting
Cutting
boxes. And
boxes.
then what was it? Do you buy all your murder weapons at Home Depot? God, you're so
God, you're
butch.
so butch. Jennifer is
Best
just
line of the whole
such a
movie.
fucking rude human being. Combat takes place. She carves an X in Jennifer's stomach. That pisses Jennifer off, and they begin fighting in midair. Uh, all culminating through this tussle to Needy seeing the locket. She gets hold of it, yanks it loose. It's this really great kind of representation of, like I said, severing ties with toxicity and taking claim of yourself, responsibility for yourself, taking yourself back from this bad thing. And it's immediately followed up by my tit. As Jennifer is on the bed beneath Needy with a box cutter in her heart. Uh, so immediately it goes from this very intense moment immediately back into levity. Uh, it's beautiful. I love it. Jennifer's mom comes in, and now we see how dear Needy ended up in the psychiatric ward to begin with. Um,
Basically, like the present of like when the movie started.
mm-hmm.
Her in isolation for kicking the orderly and breaking their nose.
Yes. Uh, and this is where we find out as food is slid through the door to her. This is where we find out that she has developed unique powers after getting a bite on her shoulder in the tussle with Jennifer. Seemingly able to absorb some of the demon's abilities for surviving being bitten by the demon. She is levitating in her solitary cell, uh, still wearing the bunny slips, and proceeds to live up to her title of capital Kicker by kicking out the bars and windows of the cell, which leads us into her escape. More representation of growing and breaking from bindings. But in this situation, she has a goal. She is going to find and kill the members of the band Low Shoulder.
That's where she finds the knife that was used to kill Jennifer in the water and
Yes, we get closure on that.
hitchhikes her way to the city where the band is playing
Mm-hmm.
and goes to their hotel room.
Yeah, I like that we get the closure on where the deep hole puts out. It's just somewhere on the highway outside of town or whatever. The creepy gentleman, he's kind of weird and creepy. Um, yeah, the way he looks at her, I don't know. He's scary. I don't like it. Uh, but this will lead us right up and into the credits where we get honestly my favorite kind of closure. I feel the same happened in Night of the Living Dead where we kind of got these snapshots and whatnot. Uh, Only this time, we get some video. We saw that in the remake of Dawn, where you get the after video going through the credits and everything as well. Uh, but I love the way it's set up. We get it all wrapped up in a bow. Needy shows up at the apartment, and it's a fucking bloodbath. Um, yeah, really good, really fantastic. Did you have any commentary on it? Because we've hit the credits and everything.
I mean, like I said, going into the movie, I wasn't real sure because when it first came out, I was kind of like, this looks stupid. But then actually watching it, I'm like, it's definitely not a bad movie. I would definitely put it as like a good movie. It had definitely had some, its funny moments, and it had some, some actually some pretty gruesome little moments too, which fan favorite of. But like overall, I thought it was like a really, really good movie.
Right. Like, well, I think okay, like I said, I think I overhyped it because I love the movie a stupid amount. But yeah, like I said earlier, we previous to recording, like it's not a great movie, but it's not a bad movie. But it's kind of those really bad to the point of being brilliant things. Like it wraps around on itself, where it's like, oh, this is cringe and horrible, but oh, this is so funny and this is so well written, and these are some this is some fantastic like exchange in dialogue and whatnot. A lot of it can be very painful to the ears, but overall, yeah, no, I love this film. This is definitely one that I would stop on if it came on cable or whatever. I was flipping through or whatever. I'd stop on it no matter where it is in the movie and just watch it through. Uh, yeah, I really love the film. Not bad, not super great, fantastic, brilliant, but kind of brilliant in its own way. Uh, I think that's all I have. I'm watching the credits again as the fans rush up the hallway to go to the room and she's leaving. And we get that beautiful little zoom in, fucked up CCTV zoom in on her face. Damn, I love that movie. Damn, I love the soundtrack. Oh no, it's offering me up the crow next. No, no, stop. I mean, don't stop. I'll stay up and watch it, but let me finish the recording first. Uh, well, with that, I suppose I did not mean to clap next to the mic. My bad, gang. With that, we can go ahead and I guess we can hop into the wrap up with the segment, our instant reslay, where we go ahead and we pick our favorite, least favorite, and least favorite kills of the film, or most unnecessary kill. We agreed we couldn't figure everything was necessary, everything kind of led up to whatever, but we can go ahead and pick our least favorites, I guess, or whichever way we go with it. As well as our favorite scene, a specific scene in the film. RJ, as always, I will let you go ahead and do the honors of giving yours first.
Well, I would just say like the favorite kill of the movie was probably Colin's death scene, just because that one got more graphic. I did like the first actual kill you see with what was his name, Jonah, I believe it
Jonah,
was,
yeah.
because that was
Jonah
like
or
the big
Jonas,
reveal of
yeah.
her being like a basically being a succubus and all that stuff, even though you don't know that's what she is at the time. But the I would say the Colin scene, just because it is more graphic, you kind of see how brutal she is when she like kills somebody and all that.
For sure, for sure. Uh, you have a least favorite or least necessary?
Um, I didn't really, because I just feel like all the kills that were in there, except for like, the I guess if I had to pick one would be the bar scene of like just the stupid people. There's a fire, so let's hide under a table.
No
Like
fucking
that
awareness,
part just makes no sense to me at all. And I'm like, yo, it's not an earthquake.
right? If you all burned to death, you had it coming. I
So
didn't.
if I had to pick one, I would pick that.
Let me actually go ahead and pull up the kill count for the film, because that'll give us a full list of on and off screen stuff. I'm silly and I didn't bring that prepped. I also realized I didn't put any links in the master document, did I?
Nope.
Son of
We
a
figured it
bitch.
out.
I apparently slacked and broke today. The Dead Meat Wiki is where we find our kill counts. We love the Dead Meat Wiki. Any film with any bodies that you need to get counts of, boy howdy, they got it. And it is descriptive of things. We appreciate them. Ooh, pardon me. All right, well, let's see here. Our counted deaths are the person at Melly Lane number 1 died in the fire. So we got 1, 2. It doesn't say specifically, just people that we see on fire, running around on fire. Craig also died in the fire. Roman Duda, possibly died in the fire. We never see him again, and it's never spoken of, so we don't know. Jonas being eviscerated by Jennifer. Colin Gray being eviscerated by Jennifer. Jennifer stabbed with stabbed at least 6 times with a Bowie knife. Ahmet, who was killed by Jennifer off screen. But we do get the explanation of that in the background, because initially Ahmet, you see him kind of just disappear when the rafters fall in. So it's kind of assumed he's one of the ones that died in the fire. Turns out Jennifer kills him. Nikolai Wolf killed by Needy. The whole band killed by Needy, and of course Jennifer stabbed in the heart by Needy. And that's it, actually. There weren't a lot of kills, even off screen. If I had to do a favorite, it'd probably be Jonas, just because you get that you get the initial reveal of her more monstrous form. You get that face morph. And also, he gets his guts ripped out, and Bambi's sitting there licking the insides. So that's pretty rad, and I like that a lot. I see where you're coming from with Colin, but I have that special I don't want Colin to die feel. So I was actually going to pick that one as like my most unnecessary, but I'm really, really sad that Chip ended up dying. And he had such a sweet ending to his life, and it was just so sad. I didn't want it to be true. So I'm going to say Chip. Even though I understand that kind of gave Needy the fire to go on to kill Jennifer and then go on to kill the band. Still didn't want to see him die. Favorite scene in the film? I'm guessing you're probably going with the Colin scene again, eh?
No, actually, my favorite scene would probably be the Jonas kill scene, just because it is the reveal.
Okay. So
Yeah,
we've got
kind
some
of flip
lineup
flop in
in
here.
there.
Yeah.
Right on. My favorite scene, like I said, it's the lake shot. That initial lake shot. Just big and expansive, and Jennifer comes up and out of the water, and she's so small, and it just gives that sense of scope for the scene itself. I just think that's a really beautiful scene. Just one single shot. But yeah, that definitely does it for me as the favorite. Other than that, do we have anything else we got to go over here?
I think
Movie related,
well,
or
I was gonna say, if we're moving on from the movie, the only other thing we need to do is just pick next week's movie,
yes, you know it, buddy. Let me go ahead and
and
pull
it
up the
would
list
be
real quick.
your pick.
Yeah, I do. um, let's have a look. See here. Once more, I haven't thought on it. Just kind of want to go into it. I think this week we're going to go ahead and we're going to do something that I haven't seen. I don't know if you've seen this, but Devil
Yeah, I have seen it. That's
You
why I
have?
picked it.
Okay, okay, okay. I wasn't sure if this was like one that you'd heard of or. Okay. I have
It is
no clue what it's about. I haven't
this
looked
is a
into it.
little future you know future little scripting for next week. It's an M. Night Shyamalan produced film. I don't think he directed it, but he was a
That's
producer
right.
of
He was
it.
a producer on it. Right, right.
Yeah, but I'm not a huge fan of his, but that is a very good movie.
Okay, yeah, no. Looking forward to it. Like I said, never seen it, don't know what it's about. Kind of hyped about that. Getting to go into something blind, and I kind of don't want to spoil it for myself, right away. And if I go looking into things, I'm going to. Um, no, I can go ahead and I can do some scripting too. I'm not gonna pour it on you and be like, hey, fuck you, you do this. But all right. So next week, yeah, well, we're gonna watch Devil. I'm excited. How do you feel about the film? Give me a little vibe here. Give me something I can kind of
Of
feel off of.
Devil.
Mm-hmm.
It's it is a very like it seems like just like how they shot it. It's like a very simple movie just because I don't like I said I don't want to give too much away of it, but like the setting is kind of like one central little area for most of the movie, and then again I don't want to say too much of it, but it does seem like it's a simple little movie, but like when you get to the end, like towards the end of it and things start connecting and all that, you I think that's when you start realizing how good the movie is and all that. But
Okay, okay.
yeah, it is a is it's a fun movie.
I like the sound of it being like a kind of center space focused sort of film.
Yeah, it has been a little while since I've seen it, but it is very I
Because
really enjoyed it.
what that says to me is there's maybe more of like a claustrophobic or isolation type vibe to it, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Kind of in the way the Evil Dead Rise took that isolation, everything, and packed it into an apartment, a small apartment space, something like that, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, I could
Okay,
say that. Yeah.
okay. I'm just trying to get a little feel, I'm just trying to get a little feel for what I'm going to be going into here. I'm excited. I can't wait. Uh, I like seeing new things, especially when I'm stuck in old things so much. Um, and as I said last week, like that's my favorite part of doing this. Like, yay, it's fun getting on mic and just bullshitting and talking about the movie, and yay, fun. But getting to actually sit and watch movies, it's like I don't prioritize that as often as I maybe want to. And doing this now, I get to prioritize that, and it's reinvigorated something in me for film. I'm just like, yes, I want to watch movies all the time now. But for anyway, yeah, I think that brings us to the end, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, well. On that note, thank you so much for joining us here at the Hobbesy Horror Screamcast Bros. We appreciate you so very much. If you don't mind, give us a like, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating just because. Don't ask questions. Like I said, nothing will end up in your bed. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, you want to complain or fist fight me verbally, you can reach us at Hobbesy Horror on Twitter/XIG Threads, Blue Sky. And I think those are the only places we have. You can also find us on YouTube if you're not listening on YouTube right now already at Hobbesy Horror. Type us into a search bar, we'll pop up. You can email us, hobbsyhorror@gmail.com. That'll come to us. We both check this, and we'll be happy to answer whatever you want. Other than that, RJ, where can they find you?
RJWare89, I believe.
Over on Twitter/X. RJ doesn't believe in the socials, and you will find him yelling about sports. If you like sports, you know where to go. Otherwise, I stream on Twitch. What is my Twitch? That Hobbesy. There we go. That Hobbesy on Twitch, Twitter, and X. I am at HobbsyVT, and on Blue Sky, Threads, Insta, all those good places, I am at that Hobbesy. We look forward to seeing you next time. Can't wait to get in this next film. Next week's episode after this will be another supplemental if we can get it done. I'm working on it, man. Life's tough. But beyond that, thank you so much again for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye.